followed so easy. And round we went, yet to give in to me. And the answer is a mystery, spoken softly like a sacred sin. Time was empty, no reality, losing grip on what we had within. Can I fool you? Can I fool you? Can I fool you? Can I fool you? I follow your silhouette, followed so easy. And round we went, yet to give in to me. And the answer is a mystery, spoken softly like a sacred sin. Time was empty, no reality, losing grip on what we had within. Can I fool you? Can I fool you? Can I fool you? Can I fool you? I have you and you have me, sounded so easy. But I got lost and you found me so easily. But then the world said, please tread softly, don't leave scratches on my skin. All was simple, its complexity.
Hello, hello. I think we should have everything set up and working okay. Hello, I hope you're doing well. I finally got one of these. I'm glad. As I said in the notification, unfortunately, today's barrier to entry, as there always is for every stream, today I am making people suffer my horrendous middle/high school music taste. I did not, there was some music I liked. I would never say I was a musically inclined person, but the music taste I did have could be described as bad, perhaps. There are arguments to be made that that is a good descriptor. I'm not necessarily for some of tonight's music's reasons, but the video you posted on Twitter today was crazy. I'm glad you liked it, sweet snap. it was very fun. I've been wanting to do a project like that for God, I don't even know how long, years and years. And it's one of those things where I just sort of like suddenly became cognizant, maybe uh or suddenly became like conscious of um maybe a couple of years back where I was like, "Oh wait, I can literally just DM somebody and ask like, "Hey, can I do this?" Like was like, this is a very simple thing, and even after that realization, it still took me a couple of years to get there. Uh, it is late, but what better accompaniment to making an ooh bionicle could there be than floral femboy? Ooh, bionicle sounds fun. I might have to try building some bionicles sometime. I've only tried Legos a very tiny bit, but I want to branch out. Also, if you guys hear any like background noise, I'm so sorry. I've somebody listened to a movie. I've done my best to cut out as much of it as I can, but a little bit of action may still make it through. It's I don't know, some explosions and guns and car chases and you know all of that, all that stuff. I have to remember I can't really dip into like my relaxing tone so much because it sort of contrasts in a I don't know, maybe people like it, but to me it feels like it contrasts in a weird champ kind of way to the music I've got going on. I mean, I know I still have the cozy kind of visuals too, but I just can't help it. And I don't even mean that in like a I just can't help myself. I love it so much kind of way, but I mean it in like a I literally don't know how to do anything else. Uh Sorry if you hear all of the little fabric adjustments. I've still got a face mask on just in case. Just in case. My music taste is two things: early 2000s, late 90s grunge, and video game OSTs. Mine is a little bit of some video game OSTs, mainly Nitro Sherall Lamento. Uh, uh, what else? Yeah, it's weird. It's either like a little bit of video game OSTs for me. There's a little bit of like frog core music. I don't know how else to describe it. Very like happy frog core music for days where you're very sad and you need something frog core. Bionicle is my entire childhood. Wanting to be into Bionicle is my entire childhood. I've loved it from afar, but I think it was expensive. At least for my situation, and I never seemed to catch the cartoons, so it was like I was not having much luck in interacting with the franchise. Use a free digital pro. Oh, is it like a digital building thing? That's kind of cool. I hadn't heard of that. We got some Gax on the playlist now. Redemption. God, the songs are old. Bionicle is infamously difficult to interact with. Okay, so it wasn't just me. I was like, I feel like I wanted to be into this so bad, and they did not make it easy. I remember, I think the toys were occasionally at McDonald's, but I think every time they like sold out like almost immediately. Funny enough, the strongest association I have to any sort of building block toys or building toys or anything is those little, I'm not just like trying to like rub my hand for ASMR's sake, but like my hand is like legitimately so itchy right now for some reason. I feel like I've been here doing this forever, and it's not just because I'm trying to ASMR you. My hand is just really itchy. But hey, if that ASMR is you, if that ASM's your R, then I'm glad. That what would the what would the expanded phrase of that be if that autonomous sensory meridian's your response? I like that. I might have to add that to the lexicon. That's kind of fun. But the the main thing that I think I have, am I like wearing this mask up upside down? I didn't think I was, but maybe I am. Maybe that's why I keep having to adjust it. Hold on, let me step off. Let me step off screen real quick. I think it's upside down. Okay, I don't think it actually was upside down. I think I'm wearing it the unintended way, but I think this is actually the better way. So, hey, now I don't have to adjust it every 3 seconds. Out here hand drawing like a devious villain. I know. I was like sitting here like standing here just like doing this for minutes on end, but I think it's gone now. Triscuits, thank you for the sub. Much appreciated. Hello, hello. Nix, hello. Hi, hi, hi. Like you said, weekends were bad for streaming right now. Yeah, I'm making it work. I'm trying. There are certain like limitations that I have put on myself in terms of like I just try, like things that I won't stream if are happening like around or whatever, and I just need to be a little more lax about some of them if I want to stream ever. Uh in before I have my own place, which hey, you know. Yeah, no. No, I did think that they were gonna be not great for me, but like I said, I'm trying to make stuff work. What's playing right now? I can't hear it. Oh, Cage, that's why it's a little soft. Do. Love the lamp being your mask tonight. This actually, oh, funny enough, this is my microphone shield. My microphone is like right in here. Not quite, but right in there. And this is like a shield that goes around it, which is crazy because I know I know you've seen some of my Goodwill stuff or my thrift store stuff on Blue Sky, where I actually was. This wasn't Goodwill necessarily, but it was from a thrift store. I was just perusing around some of the different like consignment shops and thrift stores and stuff in my town. And my town is very small. Like, it's not a big place. Like, we shouldn't have something like this. So I don't understand what happened. How did this get here? This, straight up, I Googled it. This is a $200 vocal shield. And it was $20. It was like $25, something like that. And I was like, okay, for sure. We'll be buying that. We'll be picking that up. Yeah, so I don't know. I did no idea how that happened. So I don't know how much it's actually doing, but I'm assuming if anything, it's at least a little bit better than the $30 packs of foam that's like this thin that you have to like staple to your walls in 30 different locations. So I was just like, I don't want to do that. My room needs treatment, but I'm trying to avoid putting up as little non-aesthetic type of treatment as I can. It's unfortunate. A lot of my surfaces are glass or acrylic or something smooth and reflective. I wish I was a bigger like plushy collector. I have some, but they're not in very convenient locations because legitimately, having like a room that's full of plushies and soft surfaces and soft materials, it's the same reason like or same effect as like having carpet. It'll give you more like sound absorption, so you don't get as much like echoiness and gross mucky tones and stuff in your recordings. But I do eventually want to get some more treatment. I just haven't found anything I'm really happy with. Oh, but yeah, so like stuff with rooms with a lot of stuffed animals and stuff, it's actually legitimately like really helpful for making audios because then you have a lot of sound absorption, so you don't get the yuckiness. My town is moderately sized. Goodwill is a cash saving haven. People have got their $100 Keurigs. There was like a robo vacuum at mine earlier for like okay, there actually it was okay, this unrelated to robo vacuum. Robo vacuum seemed like a great deal. I didn't pick it up, but it was very tempting. But there was a towel warmer that I was really enthused with. I've been thinking about this towel warmer all day. Um and it was like, with the furniture at my Goodwill, and I went over to look at it and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm picking this up for sure. Like, because I imagine this is nowhere above $30. I'm like, this is Goodwill. This is cheap. So I go to grab it and I'm like looking at the price. It's a towel warmer that's like made for your bathroom and it's like an XL size. So it's like, it got room for like a couple of towels. I was like thinking like, you could throw your like clothes in there maybe and warm them up, whatever, after you're out of the shower. This motherfucker was $70 at Goodwill. I was like, bro, that's full price. That's just the retail price of a towel warmer. That's just there's nothing, there's no discount there. Uh, but I was, I've been going a couple times a week lately just because I've been really into thrifting and finding the deals, and less so in a deal kind of way, really, and more so just in I've been fascinated with vintage, retro technology, which is the technology that I grew up with, which is the weird thing when you have to start saying that. Like just when people are like, yeah, like the GameCube, that's a retro console. And I'm like, yep, for sure. I also grew up with it and spent countless hours on one just because that was the newest technology at the time. The price to warm one's towels, for real, for real. It was crazy. Tascam DR. I'm vaguely familiar with the Tascam ones. What do I even have? I have a Zoom, so I know like Zooms and Tascams are kind of some of the first ones that get recommended for recorders. I don't know too much about. Honestly, I barely even know much about the Zooms. I know like the H4n, H5, H6. I know a little bit about those. As soon as I started posting binaural audio, views jumped. I'm glad. That's cool. Happy to hear it. I'm only slightly older than the GameCube, apparently. I'm old older enough than the GameCube. That's a weird one to try and phrase. Um, I am sufficiently older than the GameCube. That's better, I think. Um, that it was very much a staple of my childhood years. It wasn't like, there's sometimes people are like, yeah, I grew up with a GameCube, and it's like, but it was like, they saw the end of it. Nope, I saw I saw that bitch from birth to death. Uh, I wish I still had my old one. I have or we had one of the purple ones, which I think was like sort of limited edition, not super but now I moved to Nintendo DS, bought brand new 3 feet away from me. Yeah, I've been looking to see if I could find my old Game Boy Advances. That was about as far back as I went on handheld consoles. I think like as a child there was a chance that I could have had a Game Boy like color or something, but those I mostly saw like friends older siblings with those, whereas like by the time I was like, you know, hitting the conscious scene, it was sort of Game Boy Advance SP was like the first big leap that I remember going from like the Game Boy Advance to being like, wow, that's so different and cool. But yeah, funny enough, with handheld consoles, I had a very specific like and very brief sort of life with them where it started on the Game Boy Advance and it went to the Game Boy Advance SP. And I'm pretty sure it ended there, to be honest. And it was like I was a kid, so maybe it's my memory was stretched out. Maybe it's longer, or it feels like longer than it was. But I remember playing on those handhelds for years on the just the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP. But I think the DS came. I think that came around the time that the Great Recession washed over the United States of America. So I think that was not on not on the agenda at the time for me. uh I did have some other console later though, just not handhelds. I think that might have not even been due to that. I might have just been fine with what I had. I might not have really seen a reason for a DS. I remember a little bit of playing I remember playing Nintendogs on one of my friends' DS's like one time when I would go over to their house. Like I think, a couple times I would play on there, but not enough for it to be like really any core memory. Core memory? Memory. Nintendogs, yeah. My DSi has a broken shoulder bone. Oh, that's so sad. I'm so sorry. I'm hoping my PS2 part is gonna come soon. I got one part, but it was the wrong part. I think I talked about this last stream, so I'm waiting on the new part. And then hopefully, bada bing, bada boom, we'll be able to pop that in and get that working. If you ever open the Discord back up, you gotta put in a Goodwill Finds channel. If the that would be pretty good. I do seem to be going to Goodwill enough to be able to contribute my own stockpile of content lately. But no, I was thinking like, I still think about the Discord and I don't know that it'll ever open again. I don't want to, I don't want to provide any false hope, but I was just thinking about the ways that maybe it could. And I think it just has to be so, so low maintenance for me. And I know even if I hand off the keys to somebody else and I go, hey, if somebody else wants to run this and I'll just sort of be like around, like for sure I'm fine with that. But I know in my head I'll still worry about stuff. I'm still gonna, I'm not gonna just let it go. So if I ever have that open again, I think what'll probably happen is there will probably be like three channels. There'll probably be like a text channel, a voice channel, um, and like maybe a channel for photos. But I kind of just like I think probably would just uh prefer for my sake, I guess, is the best way I could put it. That just like like pictures that are being posted, or just stuff that's like relevant to conversations that are happening or whatever. Like I don't necessarily need to have like a meme spam channel and a food picture channel and everything. And that's not to like shit on anything like that or I think like really organized discords and stuff with lots of channel organization, theming, and everything look really nice, and they like some people really like to use that, and it's not anything bad. It's just for me the like there's no way I'm just gonna be able to like let that go to somebody else and not still be thinking about it. There's just not. So I think if it ever comes back, it'll be a very simplified format. Goodwill do be having the goods sometimes. I do love I try when I can to find stuff at some of my other local thrift stores instead, but it's sort of the issue of name recognition where everybody knows like, oh yeah, I have all my old stuff. I'm gonna go throw it back in the Goodwill bin. So kind of a lot of the stuff goes to Goodwill. Goodwill gets known for having good stuff. People know that they should take their old stuff to Goodwill, so it just sort of doesn't end up being dispersing into as many of the other local shops as I would like. I try to go there first, but thrift stores, the nature of them is just like you're not really looking for anything in particular most of the time. So occasionally, with my TV and stuff, I was, but oh, I think I need to sneeze. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I was like, I need to sneeze, but I also need to be able to like look at a bright light to do this. I don't know. I know that might sound insane to some people because I don't think that works at all for some people. It's like 30% of people, 50% of people or something. Basically, like part of your optical nerve crosses like part of the nerve that like basically triggers your sneezes. So when you have like sudden uh fluctuations in light and how much is coming like the I guess like surge to your optical nerve essentially like sort of slams up against the nerve that causes you to sneeze and makes you sneeze. That could be totally wrong. I want to be so clear, but that's my best understanding of what I read on Google about that. Well, not on Google. Certainly not anymore, but through Google. Strange things you can find are always fun to try and piece together what strange story brought those things to be. Yeah, I think it's a little bit fun with the electronics because old electronics is fun. I think it's a little less uh uh fun trying to piece together stories of furniture. I don't know, something about furniture feels more ominous. Thrift store furniture feels bad. Thrift store technology feels great. To be clear, I own thrift store furniture. Uh, Sneezes almost every time he steps in the sun after being indoors. Yeah, I do the same thing. Like, um, it has to be like very sudden, and it's not all the time, but often I'll have that where if I if it's very bright and even like it's harder to do this, but if I like close my eyes, I have to like squeeze them shut. But then a lot of the times that'll help me sneeze. Well, not a lot of the times, but every once in a while. More often though, it's like a sudden burst of light to my ocular region, however. Furniture is kind of a thing. Yeah. Just even like desks or tables or I don't know. Again, thrift store furniture, there's just a bad energy to it. It's just something that doesn't feel great about it. I say, if you any weird biological thing verified, just ask God use that bachelor's or something. Oh, I think I saw somebody asking about school earlier too. It's a complicated situation. I'm on an unfortunate indefinite hiatus, sort of through no fault of anybody. It's just the way certain situations have worked out has been not ideal. I would like to finish at some point, but I also think if I go back to focusing on that, then my ASMR stuff that I've been better, I think. I've been doing better about being more consistent with and everything posting, even if it's weird stuff. Um, I think I'm afraid of that suffering again when I'm like just finally starting to get it back on sort of back on track a little bit it feels. Found a typewriter. My brain's so happy at thrift store, but I had no place to put it. Oh, that's how I felt at a with a record player that I found not yesterday, but the day before, because it was like a an actual like vintage one. It wasn't just one of those like vintage style um newfangled record players with a USB port and a needle that'll supposedly kill your records and everything, but no, the one I found was like it was like $35 and it was like a legit old like 1980s, 1990s maybe. Oh, hold on, behind the scenes. Okay, we're back. Despawned. Spawn back in. Amy, hello. Hi, it's been a while. How have you been? Hope you've been good. Oops, sorry about that. Wait, this isn't an ASMR stream. I don't have to apologize. We're listening to Duran Gray. This isn't a soft stream. So hard to fight the habit, though. Ollie, hello, hello. I'm doing well. I'm just having a nice relaxing Saturday night. I'm enjoying a Coca-Cola, enjoying some music, hanging out, having a good time here. You've done great from my perspective on ASMR. I love the retro tech ones and the puppy ones because I have golden retriever braid. I'm so happy that both of those have worked out well for you. I know. Oh yeah, I found a record player. Yeah, it was a real bona fide old TM record player, and not like super old as old as they can get, but um, old by today's standards, a few decades at least. And I thought about picking it up, but I don't listen to records. I'm not a record person, and none of the stuff that I'm a CD person, which I um immediately acquiesce to the fact that they are an inferior format, much more prone to degradation. But Vinyls are too clunky for me, to be honest. To be straight up, to be just so real with you, they're just too clunky for me. I don't want them to take up that much space. I like physical media, but I don't like them to have that much physicality. It's too physical. It's just not the physical media for me, that's all. I think it's very cool. It's just I don't personally interact with the medium. But yeah, I think some of the mediums that I like I don't really have any familiarity with cassettes outside of like video cassettes, but I mean like, audio cassettes. I think I picked some up once, like to listen to the children's magical book series that shall not be named. Um, I think I like listened to them on video cassette, or not video cassette rather, but on audio cassette once or something, and I like ruined my thoughts of. I think that's what it was. It could have been another book, but I just remember like whatever it was that I listened to, like made me think audiobooks were like just the most boring possible format for like decades afterwards. And when I finally listened to another one, I was like, I could have been reading like this the whole time. I just found some good ones. You really just have to find some good audiobooks. It makes such a big difference. Mm. Also not used to music media being that big. Yeah, I think because like I wasn't born early enough to quite hit vinyls. Like, I think if you were surrounded by a lot of people who were into vinyls when you were my age, that could have been the thing. But I specifically remember like a wire CD tower that we had in my living room, like throughout my childhood, that I would like to get another one of similar one day. I just don't have the space for it or the CD collection to justify it just yet. Um, sorry, I'm reading chat real quick. The children's magic the children's magical book series that we no longer talk about. uh, the one that has been banished. TM. Wizards of the Coast about to get themselves banished too. God damn. They will there's been so much going on with that lately too. Seems like it's just one after the other. Need to get the audio version of the Raven Cycle. Told me so much about it. It's so good. I think it's so good. I think like there are plenty of um audiobooks that I think will they're like a good side grade to the reading experience of a book, but it's not necessarily an upgrade. But I think there are some like I've gotten lucky. I think a lot of the audiobooks I've listened to I would describe as an upgrade, but I think in general, um audiobooks are a side grade from like the book itself, but I think the Raven Cycle series, I think that there's nothing about it that makes it a worse experience and everything about it makes it a better experience. And already having loved not that's not to say anything about the books. I just think it takes it from 100% to 110%. It's just so this narrator so good. But yeah, with cassettes, I have that was about the edge of my familiarity with cassettes was like interacting with them a very tiny amount as a child. Um, but it was mostly CDs. I think my nostalgia era was sort of in this funny era where the media suddenly got a lot more transient, where it was like up until like, you know, maybe like CDs, some with tape, but tape is a pretty resilient method of storage. CDs are fine. They're not great. They're not as bad as I think some people think they are. As long as they're well taken care of and well kept, like most are. Um, but yeah, it's just like a lot of my nostalgia factor stuff was in this time of like the clear the clear plastic technology where you could like see motherboards through stuff was a lot of my childhood. Um, which was sort of a very fragile time. Everything was very fragile then. Nothing was built to last. Um, so it's like CDs and everything really were not it's not a durable medium by any means. It's just my favorite. Oh, I was fully forgetting about I guess I wasn't really thinking computer mediums, but floppy disks too. I actually don't I used floppy disks a little bit as a kid, but again, I mostly missed being an active participant in procedures that used floppy disks. The edge of my experience with floppy disks, or rather the totality of it, is mostly, hey mom, could I play that game? Being handed the floppy disk for said game and handing it back after I pulled it back out of the computer. So I think I think I had, oh my god, I just like nostalgia blasted myself. I think I had Frogger on um I think I had Frogger on a floppy disk. Trying to think of what else I might have had. I remember there was one game that was like I think it was like a letter learning game or something, but it was like you were in like a vampire castle or something and you were having to like go around and collect all these letters. And I remember it was like it wasn't like a Sesame Street anything like that. It wasn't like count, the count. Um anything related to anything like that. It would just happen, it's just similar theming. Uh Frogger on floppy, dad and I bonded over Frogger. Yeah, Frogger was a big one. Maybe is Frogger on Steam? Frogger stream? AO? Uh I Spy Spooky Mansion. If you just like fully there's no way that can't be it. If you just like sniped a game that I have not been able to remember, like, because I've thought about this, I've remembered this game. I just have had no context for what it was or anything. If this is it, I'm gonna lose my mind. It's gonna be insane. I'm trying to find screenshots. It's not easy because it's a 400-year-old game. Okay, so I'm not gonna lose my mind, but I did play this. It's not this game, but this I do absolutely remember this. I was scared for a second that I was going to have to lose my mind on stream right now, because I saw the cover and I was like, "This is it. Sound the alarms." It was not. It's again, I did play this for sure, absolutely, and that's insane. With no chance in any of the heavens or hells would I have ever remembered the name of this game, for the literal rest of my life. Um, no, but Yeah, so I'm sure, honestly, like, I'm sure it can't be that hard to find. There can't be that many games that came out on floppy disk. Like, compared to, like, what comes out now and everything, like, and stuff that saw commercial success had to have been so limited during, I can't imagine the market was flooded. Starting to, fall asleep. Good night. Rest well. One of my childhood PS1 games got remastered days ago. That's so cool. What game was it? Hit up the PS1 Frogger. That game was weird. I don't think I ever played any Frogger that was like not on a PC. It might have been on a CD, but I'm pretty sure our copy of Frogger was on a floppy disk. But again, that was so very long ago. Like a dream. Uh, God, it's crazy when like just because that's like some of my earliest formed memories is literally like sitting in my living room computer chair playing Frogger. I can't remember a lot before that, to be honest. My earliest memory, I think, is actually of me shoving cake into my mouth at my 1 year old birthday party. I have a very conscious memory of like a split second, which, and I don't know, hey, maybe it's a, false memory or whatever, but because I remember specifically, we were watching some old home video cassettes at some point, and I remember we put on one, and it was of my first birthday party, and it was like I knew it was coming before it was even like on the screen, and it was just I was like, it's like me like shoving like chocolate cake in my mouth with both hands and everything, and I'm like, I remember this. It was so weird. It was such a weird feeling. It was like so I don't know. Just the earliest memory I have, and then after that, you kind of skip from age one chocolate cake to like age four Frogger on floppy disk. Let me even see. Was Frogger had to have been on floppy disk? The chocolate cake to flog to Frogger pipeline. It's too real. Let me tell you. Okay, yeah, it looks like it was on floppy disk. At some point I need to just go through like an archive of like all of the floppy disks and see if I can figure out what fucking game that was that I played as a child. There has to be something like that. There has to be some kind of archive of all of the different floppy disk games. Fact that you have memory from age one. Yeah, I mean, I'm always like, even though to me it feels like a very real memory, like I know like logically I'm like maybe this is just like a false memory that I sort of constructed in the moment of watching that tape, or I've like malformed it over the years or something. Don't know. Don't know. But that's the furthest I can even perhaps recall a any real memory. Salem Born Gaming on a floppy disk. Yeah, I think I had like two or three games that I rotated between. Even then, I played games very autistically. I chose one, and that was my game. The signs were always there. Hmm. Wikipedia has a list of self-booting IBM PC compatible games, which came up when I looked up for a list of floppy disk games. Yeah, there's certain terms and stuff that I'm like not as familiar with as I wish I was from around that time too. Um, ugh. I like, you guys remember that? I don't know. You guys might not remember. I mentioned getting like cramp in my back last stream when it's like it hasn't quite fully gone away. Ugh. But anyway, yeah, like there's a lot of cables and stuff that it's mainly cables for me, but there's some other things that people like talk about that I get lost a little bit. For me, it's mainly RCA cables, composite cables, component cables, um, that sort of the era of cables that came around the ketchup and mustard cables. Those were not I'm a little fuzzy on them. I'm a little fuzzier than I wish I was. But yeah, so sometimes like the I know I started looking up something about the um, floppy disk stuff too, and it was like something about like Commodore 64, and I was like, oh God, don't do this to me right now. Uh, don't do this to me. Uh, Commodore Salem Y. Yeah, it was. I saw that Commodore 64, and I was like, I gotta go. I gotta close this tab. I gotta close this window. I need to turn my computer off. Uh, Renee Haven, thank you so much. I'm glad you think so. I appreciate it. Just joined my uni sports club. Take another sip. I need to find myself a girl. Unrelatable content, but I wish you the best of luck. Could not. Couldn't be me. uh, are you witchy? I play a witch on TV is how I describe it. I culturally appropriate the witchy aesthetic. I'm not into I'm not into the actuality of the practice or anything. Not anything against people who are. It's just not for me. I do love it from an aesthetic sense. Like got my Curious Travels tarot deck. Got a couple tarot decks. I don't think I have many of them in easy access other than that one. But yeah, so I have a little collection of tarot sets. What other witchy stuff do I have? Oh, I have a couple wands. I made a wand myself. Then I have one that I bought. I think one is almost done. It needs a little bit more pizzazz to it to finish it up, but a little more elbow grease. I need to get into witchy aesthetic, but I'm not really into the stuff itself either. I know I always feel bad too when people come and ask me, and I'm like, no, I'm a phony. I'm so sorry. I just think it looks neat. No, it's just I think it's fun. I like it in a fantasy sort of way, but in an actual practice kind of way. Again, just not for me. The aesthetic goes hard as fuck though. Well, also speaking of aesthetic stuff, I don't think I've really shown you guys the jewelry I'm wearing because it's one of my favorite pieces. The Here, the little doop that I got a little bunny theme on it. I think it's like a zodiac sign sort of charm. But yeah, it's one of my. I got it when I was on a trip to Taiwan, and it's one of my favorite pieces of jewelry that I own. And I just know I'm going to snag it on something and break it horribly one day, and I'm so living in fear of that day. uh, Shirt and jewelry so pretty. Oh, thank you, appreciate it. Oh, I'm certainly not avoiding it for religious reasons myself. I'm just anything that require I'm I don't know how to word this in a polite way, so I want to be clear. Hold on, no, actually I need to on this topic I need to play these words in my head before they come out of my mouth hole. um I think for me I like struggle to live at a baseline in hard reality. Uh to a degree that I'm like, okay, if I have to do some other thinking about something else beyond, nope, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I just, I'm like, look, I'm getting by, and that's what we're gonna be happy with, and anything. Like, I don't have the mind left to think about anything else. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, I enjoy contemplating it in a philosophical sense, I think. Um, but I don't I keep my personal connections from it very distant. I think that's maybe one of the best ways to put it. I want to wear some pretty bracelets I have in my job. Maybe potentially hit a. Oh, I know it sucks when it's like I've got a lot of jewelry used to like to wear, but it was just so big and clunky that even like just in day to day stuff like this is something that I know is going to break with this bracelet. So like right here, it'll get stuck on my skin a little bit. So like right now I can't move like my hand any further than this. So like whereas if I just sort of uncatch it, then I can really show off my sexuality there. But yeah, and it's just like I can feel one day it's gonna get stuck, and I'm not gonna realize it fast enough, and I'm just gonna like, because I for sure fully could just bust this thing straight open. Um, and I don't want to do that, but I could feel it. I could feel it coming one day. Uh, Peanut, hello. It's good to see you. Hi, hi, hi. Take another little sip break. I think my camera is going to do the thing soon. I think it's about once every like half hour. Hmm. See if we can get some ASMR soda pour in here. I don't know how good that ASMR was, but I promised zero quality ASMR. So if there was any in that, it was more than was promised for this stream. I don't know if it was loud or not. It might have been kind of loud. I'm not sure. It's like the bracelet controls your hand. Yeah, it's kind of again, it's not bad or anything. It's not the fault of jewelry. It's just the fault of having skin. An unfortunate side effect. An unfortunate quality. Although I suppose having skin beats not having skin if you have to be corporeal. Goodbye, Haven. Being incorporeal would slap, though. Absolutely. Absolutely absconding the need for skin with incorporeality. What more could one ask for? I would like to be incorporeal, less in the way of being like invisible or intangible, and more so in the way of being sort of everywhere and nowhere. That's sort of the vibe. Just sort of always a little bit there, but never quite. Just feels like how I am now, but only in one location. Probably wouldn't have back pain if you're incorporeal. Yeah, let me be clear. Incorporeality on of any type does beat out corporeality of any type. The best type of corporeality probably beat out by most of even the worst types of incorporeality. Yeah, I like the idea of being incorporeal in terms of being like a concept. I would love to be a concept. Being a concept, much preferable to being corporeal. Being conceptually around is pretty good. Yep, there it goes. Got like I said last time, I've got all my lights and too much stuff all going everywhere. So I've got, let's do our light count again today. I've got one, two, three. I guess it depends whether you're counting my computer monitors. They do produce a non-negligible amount of light, but I've got two, so we'll count them as one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 9 lights. 9 lights today. Sort of generally speaking. Hello and good afternoon from Australia. Heart of Grand Corporeality. Hello to good afternoon to Australia. uh, it's like it's not even really painful. It's just enough to be annoying. Oi, I gotta do my old people stretches. Gotta start exercising more. Man, I don't know how I used to be walking like 20,000 steps to like an hour around Tokyo, and now I'm like, I take 4 steps and I'm like, clawing my way along afterwards because I'm fatigued. No, I used to do so much walking all the time, every day, and now I'm like I can feel my muscles like atrophy. Which isn't good. I could definitely feel myself like I was never strong, to be clear. So, but I could feel myself getting weaker, which isn't good. Yo, Mint, hello. Yo, Mint in the chat. Hi, hi, hi. Good to see you. Hope you've been well as one could be in this, oh boy, crazy, crazy world of ours. I do think there is a funny, there's been a sort of funny change of ethos to how content creators TM handle like the presence of like how stressful like IRL stuff is and like how it is now and everything. Like at least like, you know, not even just in regards to the US really, just everything is crazy all over the place everywhere now. Some much of that is the fault of the US, but I feel like a lot of that sort of talk about that stuff used to be like very avoided. People were like, I want this to be a space of comfort with no mention of anything like IRL, whatever. And I think there's still probably a lot of people like that, maybe, but I think in my perception, it's shifted now to people being like, people have finally realized, like, just, I think, like, ignoring the situation doesn't help any, like, it almost is more stressful in some ways. Like, it feels fake to sort of pretend crazy stuff is not happening. It's not very stressful. So it's like now I feel like the everybody's kind of switched over to being like, I think people still don't like to talk about too much heavy stuff on stream or anything, but like if the topic comes up, like everybody like nowadays is more like, yeah, man, you and me both, man, shit sucks. Which I do think is just very uh darkly funny. That it just the state of things that we've gotten to. Uh, recently developed some sciatic nerve issues and acts up the more I stand still. Oh no! I hope they hope it doesn't give you too many issues. I think part of my problem is like I be doing too much fucking gay people sitting. I be sitting weird too much. I gotta sit like a normal person with like my feet flat on the ground and my like I have to go through one of those like corporate like how to sit instructional videos to like avoid damage to myself because I mean all my work is on a computer, so I do all my work on the computer. Calling me out, I put on my oh my god. See, I sit like that. I know exactly how you're sitting. I sit like that all the time. Um, and it's just like it like stretches my muscles in weird ways, I think, and it like has me like off balance. I'm always sitting in a way where basically like one of my legs is like stretched in a certain way. Like not in a certain way, I guess, but just in some sort of way. Like so I and it makes my back feel really like unbalanced, I guess is the best way I could put it. Normal people sitting is not comfortable. It's so bad. It sucks because it's like not comfortable in the moment, but it makes like your body more comfortable for the rest of your moments. But damn, it sucks. Hmm. Back in the day, I sit down one of those exercise posters like never do exactly what you're doing now. Yeah. Every time I like notice my posture, I'm like, all right, noticed. It's really bad. I'm gonna unnotice now. Ah, ouch. If I can't put my little feetsies under the blanket, then it's not sitting. It's suffering. Exactly. I actually don't tend to sit with a blanket or anything too much. Mostly just, I don't know. I think I like, especially lately, I just am too fidgety. I get up and down too much. And it's like I don't have like a free floating blanket, so then I would have to like untuck it from my mattress and everything, and I just too much work. But I like to tuck my feetsies in under me and sit on them until they fall asleep and I suffer. Imagine having a blanket. Oh, I don't. I'm lately I've been suffering with it. I don't know what's going on because usually I'm so cold, but I keep waking up just like super hot at night, and it's not like hasn't been warm, so don't know. Don't know. I do think I'm starting to feel a little low. So I think we're probably gonna start finishing up here. I'm gonna take another drink of my Coke. Overheat at night easy. Body temp goes way down. I've never overheated in general easily, but lately noticed a change in the winds. My sleep has just been terrible though, all the time lately though. Just 3 hours of random naps whenever I can manage to pass out, and I'm normally given about 2.5 minutes of notice by my body of like, hey, now you're tired. Hey, you're about to get real tired. And then it's okay, you're real tired, but for like 2 hours and 17 minutes. So good luck for the next 16 hours. It's it's rough. And, doing what I can to try and get that figured out though, so all right. We're gonna yeah, it's enough whining. We're gonna head off there. I'm gonna cut myself off. Good to see you all though. Thank you for coming and hanging out. It's been so nice coming back to stream finally and getting to say hello to everybody, getting to see familiar names in the chat. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Have a good night. It was good seeing you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was good to see you. Oh, actually, I forgot. Hold on. Let me not just hit end stream. Let's raid somebody. I forgot you could do that. I haven't done this streamer thing in so long. I'm still getting back into the swing of things. Oh, there's like nobody I follow online. What the fuck? Isn't it like Saturday night? Where the fuck is everybody? Let's see. Let's find somebody. We'll find somebody to raid. Any raid messages? Nah, no raid messages. I'm not, I don't got that left in me now. I think I have like a command set up and stuff for it still, but I'm not gonna bother. We might just end up not having anybody to raid into because of the people I follow. There's literally 3 online. Hold on, I got one person I'm waiting through an ad break. I think they're like away right now. So, okay. Never mind. JK, I lied. No raid. we're just gonna end here because literally nobody I follow is online other than like 3 people who I follow that have you know, thousands of viewers right now. I don't like rating into big streams. I don't know. Feels I don't know. Feels funky to me. But anyway, so we're gonna call it a night there. Thank you everybody for coming by. It was good to see you all. Good night.